Hello, and welcome to episode 35 of Snap on This, a Marvel Snap podcast. I'm your host, LaurenWhatevs, here with my usual co-hosts. It's an odd-numbered episode, so we're going to throw it to Ree first. Ree, how was your weekend, Snap? And keep it snappy.
Okay, it will be incredibly snappy. I was a very terrible co-host. I had something like my dog's surgery for a torn ACL. It is Marvel related because she's named Murdoch after Matt Murdock. Not the Murdoch that is trying to destroy the world. But we also constantly gets her misgendered. This is him. Yeah. But Matt, nobody gets the Daredevil connection there. But you know. Anyway, so that got moved up a week early, and it's like the house has three different anyway, and a lot of other stuff. So I have like my Snap. The only Snap I've played has been like late night fevered. Like honestly, it's been like I don't really remember playing except for that it was like stumbling through a nightmare of losing like 8 games in a row, being like, at least are the missions done yet? Like, crawling through the trenches, like, have we achieved the mission yet? I'm dying here over and over. For real, I was like, it's like, and it's so unusual for me too. I don't lose that much, to be honest. Like, I usually win more than half of the time when I play. So, like, when I have, like, a losing streak, it feels extra bad. But I'm like, but not me, though. I am the main character of my own story. Like, I'm usually read forward progression. Okay, so, no character development this week. So, yeah, I, did other things. Like that. Okay, no, that'll be an outro thing. It's so off topic.
Okay, you mentioned your dog surgery. I think you said off air it went well, right?
Yes.
I think that's a good thing for everybody to hear. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear it. I hope recovery goes well too.
Thank you.
Okay.
I also.
Of course. Yeah. Okay, did you say you're done?
Yes, I think I'll save it for outro. It's very random.
Okay, I didn't know if for some reason, I first thought the outro of your intro.
I think you should do it as the outro of your intro. That's what I think.
The outro. Okay. All right.
We need something for when the guitars are wailing.
If you're here for snappage only, skip ahead 4-ish minutes, please. That's probably how long it'll take. Okay, so this weekend, I went on a little adventure. Just how I think of taking extremely long walks, because I used to have to walk everywhere in college, and my most frequent walk I would divide by the Lord of the Rings trilogy plus the prequel. So it would be like this section would be The Hobbit. When I got there, the next landmark, it was anyway. That and so so that's why all walking things are adventures now. But I was going far to the bookstore and also to get the most delicious macarons I've ever had. I found this little I found it on Reddit of all places, but it's this local place that makes macarons, and they're the most delicious cookies I've ever had. The only cookie that is worth it's like 5, whatever it is, I don't even know, for this tiny cookie, it is worth it. Every time I take a bite, I experience 5 emotions at once. It's like, okay, anyway. Sorry, if you're ever in Columbus,
that sounds
Ohio,
amazing.
You must get these macarons.
Great.
The only thing you must do.
Okay,
but the point of the adventure was to go to the bookstore, the used bookstore, to look for books about crocheting, because I was gifted a Woobles kit some amount of time ago. Time flows too rapidly for me to measure it. And I finally got around to doing it, and I was like, I'm into this. I need more stuff. I will go to the used bookstore. Where surely the place where all abandoned hobby books go, you know? So I went there and I found, oh my gosh, I found this absolute treasure. I do just have it right by my book. And it is from 1971, and it's called a treasury of crochet patterns. It is literally
wow.
Also, I found a wedding picture from this. Someone jammed this full of like, there's like this like Chinese paper art from like the 70s in here. It's insane. Okay. Of just like as people were bookmarking things, but it's literally just like a list of like, here's a picture of the pattern and here's the pattern. And you know what I realized and how stoked I was for like this book was like on the internet. Do you know how much like ads I would have to scroll around to get this data? Right? How much avoiding of like clicking on a thing and then accidentally clicking the ad and then hitting the back button and then trying to escape the new pop-up ad and then like going to the next link to get more. And like, it's so, the internet has been enshittified so thoroughly. I mean, it's still glorious. We're still better off with it, I think, even for all its fallacies. But like, but it is, you know, we are not in the days of GeoCities, my friends. We're in, you know, corporate rules everything. And to just get straight data, like no ads. Oh, the printed page.
Just the sheer functionality of that tome.
Right?
Damn.
And we know how close we are to the zombie apocalypse minus the zombies. Yeah. So then we'll all need, you know, this is what we'll need to have.
Preserve your good books.
One of my crochet books. Right. So one of the things I always like read intros of books until they bore me or like they're just about thanking people or whatever. And in this one, this lady was like, hey, we all know as crocheters that in the zombie apocalypse, we will be the ones who are clothed. And I was like, yes, this is why I do most things that I do in most hobbies and get my eyes laser surgery so that in the zombie apocalypse, I have a chance to survive or maybe even thrive, you know, for the conditions. Okay, I am sorry. This was like, this is why I tried not to launch into it. I don't stream anymore, so I don't have these like outlets for speaking. I just don't speak that much anymore. Okay, so hopefully that was 4 minutes. It
wasn't even that long.
If you were skipping ahead, we are now returned to your regularly scheduled Snap on This programming. Back to you, with that.
Well, we'll throw it to Ben. How was your weekend snap?
My weekend snap, endeavoring to keep it snappy. You know, it was pretty good. I hit InfiNOT. I did the thing. I barely retreated against humans. That was just if you were a human, I was sticking it out to the end with you because I was not seeing so many of them, and I wanted the interaction. Honestly, I mean, I think there's a perception that maybe I'm not the most interactive player, but that's I don't know.
Oh, we would never assume you're
maybe I don't play the most interactive decks, but like, gosh dang it, there's got to be a human on the other end because the bots are not interesting and they're not fun and they're all playing wave and stuff in decks where wave doesn't go and all this nonsense and sunspot, just so many sunspots. Anyway, it was a fine climb. I did the things. I played a lot of my classic ass still Nocturne in it, having a Wave Flourish, Silver Surfer list, the flagship, the old faithful, the reliable standard. But I did have one major innovation in that I swapped one card from one of my decks. It wasn't that Silver Surfer deck, but my Scream deck. I cut Angela because we were just talking about it last week. She was like sort of like central to my particular Scream list, the Silk Scream thing that I was doing. Like Angela, like this deck was like built to like maximize what you can get out of Angela, and she was just not it had Hydra Bob and like Spider-Man and like all these cards that scoot off the lane and stuff, and I was still not making Angela worth my while. So it's just a Hope Summers kind of thing now. I like playing them together. I think it's always fun when you can, but like Angela's just not feeling very practical in this moment. But the card that I replaced Angela with was Cannonball. And that was another thing about the Scream deck is that it plays Magneto instead of Cannonball. But like, come on, Like that's the cool thing. Like you do the turn 5 Magneto. That's always been like part of the plan. And then like I found myself very often following it up with a crafty Stegron on 6 or something. But like it should just be Cannonball. And I've built a lot of other like fun Scream decks with their own personality, and some of them had Cannonball. And I liked that this one didn't have Cannonball in it. But like sometimes you just got to give in and put Cannonball in there, because like Magneto on 5 into Cannonball on 6 is just so good. It's pretty cool. It's a fun play. Yeah. So in case you're wondering, like, how's that Magneto happening on 5? It's the Hope Summers that I mentioned before. That's the whole thing.
Okay. Yeah, I think Cannonball sounds like a good choice.
Oh yeah, but the list: Kingpin, Hydra-Bob, Scream, Kraven, Spider-Man, Silk, Red Guardian, Hope Summers, Polaris, Stegron, Cannonball, and Magneto. That's yeah. Okay. Well, that's them. That's cool. I played them in Conquest. I haven't been playing Post Infinite Ladder or anything, but yeah, that was the deck I was playing during Hot Locations recently. So that's what's up. I think that's about. Wait, Reed, did you have a question? I have like more things I could talk about, but did you have a question?
Yeah, it was for you and Lauren though. Okay, when you talked about returning to Old Faithful, I know this doesn't seem like it's related at all, but it really made me wonder, like, when you're playing a video game and you're given like an array of the typical like classes, do you always go like for warrior? Do you have like an Old Faithful class? Like, hey, I just generally always play warrior. I always end up playing a sneaky archer, long range type. I was just curious, like, yeah, Lauren. No, what you knew right off the bat. What is you?
I mean, depending on the context. First up, I'm some kind of support. I think support's fun. I think healing or buffing or whatever is fun. But then, yeah, I prefer a sneaky style. Like I'm thinking like an Assassin's Creed or whatever, where they started adding skill trees. I would much rather be clever than just overwhelmed with brute strength.
I probably want to play all of them eventually to appreciate the the fullness of the game. I usually
before
start,
you know it's a game you're gonna love and want to like 100% it. Where do you start?
Well, I try to treat all of them like I might love them. You know what I mean? But I guess usually I go with the one. I try to go like. If there's a bar of blue stuff and one of the classes or whatever can ignore the bar of blue stuff largely, or like if there's a build that involves ignoring the blue stuff at first, that's what I'll do. But the thing is, usually the blue stuff is very good. And so by the end of my involvement with the game, I'll be all about the blue stuff by the end. So like I try to start like not doing that, like wherever there are like complicated resources, like I'll like try to like stay on the more direct, like honest thing before I start making deals with the devil for insane magical power. I don't know. That's I guess maybe I play warrior first. Also, like I don't know if this is like an exploration, like kind of open world situation. I like being able to open all the doors and chests. So I guess like I start building a rogue right away because like I don't like having the content hidden from me. You know, like.
Okay, so you spend like an hour
in
the character creator carefully reading all the classes.
Yes,
absolutely. Based on individual skills of the class,
you know
what might benefit you most. I also spend a lot of time in the character creator, but based on how I'm making my character.
And even if I'm not a warrior, I'm probably trying to have high health because I like to. Right.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I'm so opposite. I would like maxing out my health is the last thing I will do. Like I'm thinking, like I don't know, the Zelda open world games. I'm like, I want full stamina first. I will touch my very first health upgrade after I have full stamina. Yeah. I'm like, I could just have skill and not get hit. Like It doesn't always work out that way, but that's the way my brain
that's the thing.
works.
I tend to assume that like I will get hit, especially at first. Yeah, like I don't know. Even though there are not classes in like Hades or whatever, like my
There's, like,
initial
play
approach
styles,
to both games, my initial approach was like, I'm gonna get hit a lot, so like I'm gonna try to like have health and things, and I'm gonna try to give myself the best chance I can, acknowledging that I'm going to get hit a lot, and like eventually, as you just master more of the systems and you become more aware of all the factors you have to manage, like then you just sort of stop getting hit, and then you can assume that you won't get hit a lot, and then different things become...
Or you could just sprint into death repeatedly, because you know you have it unlimited. You're like, we can spend those in the sparkly categories instead.
But yeah, I guess what I'm saying is, like the first time I play a game or something, like I assume that I will get hit, and then like maybe by the end of my journey with a game, I will go with the assumption that I can, target a play style that rewards not getting hit. Like I'll get there, but like I assume at the beginning I'm going to get hit a lot because I'm kind of...
seems smart
I
to
start
me.
out bad at things. I'm a naturally clumsy person. But I tend to have like a pretty high ceiling on, I get good at tasks, and once I like learn the rules, I'm not a... Nah, I don't know. I do all right. I got some horsies under the hood.
That seems wise to me, but my thought process is like, oh, if I build myself super tanky, I'm going to learn bad habits where I can just take the hits, and I want to learn from the beginning how to avoid the hits. I don't know.
No, that's good too.
Ree, I want to hear
Thank you for indulging me. Oh,
default.
Me? Well, of course, I was reading all the classes and inventing a character in my head for the world and then choosing a class based on that, but then second guessing myself and inventing 10 other characters, trying every single class. I've seen the opening to Skyrim so many fucking times. So many times. And you'd be like, Ree, could you memorize the speech of the old man in the cart wheeling you slowly to the character creator where you just want to get there and spend an hour creating a character you're going to play for 10 hours before wondering if there was a better way. But no, I can't. I've tuned it out. I stopped paying attention because it's so I'm so bored of it. Like, I'm the problem in Skyrim. I'm so tuned out of the politics of what's happening in the land because this guy just wants to go on at me, and I'm so tired of hearing it for the millionth time. I'm just trying to, once again, try to convince myself not to play the prettiest character I can make. I'm so vain with my characters. Okay.
That's okay.
That's how I do. It's generally
fancy.
how I do. Because I tried to total it up, and it's just like, I've done it, I don't gravitate toward I've done them all, but I have remade. Okay, sorry for derailing us. It's just one of those weeks.
No, that was a fun conversation.
No, that was very fun.
I have more. I also really...
Oh no, Lauren, you continue.
I was going to tell
I will
more
come back
about
to my weekend
classes.
snap at some point, but no, Lauren, I want to hear more about your classes.
To my subclasses. Okay, I love a Beastmaster. I played one in Star Wars Galaxies. Just started Borderlands 3 with my fiance yesterday. Obviously picked the Beastmaster. I think some of it is...
Lauren, can we talk after the show? I've long contemplated trying some Borderlands 3. Maybe we could play some Borderlands 3 sometime.
That would be fun.
I played a lot of Borderlands 2 back in the day. So I was like, what if I...
So Jess and I finished 1 and 2, all the DLC, everything like that. And then we went to the pre-sequel, and we've been banging our head against that for a while. She's been having fun in it, but I find it extremely difficult. And I don't know if it's just taken way too long for me to find a gun that like clicks for me, but I had a miserable time. And finally I was like, can we just skip this game? Like, it's not made by the same studio. Can we just skip to 3 and maybe someday come back to the pre-sequel? Maybe I need to try a different class. I don't know. So it just was not vibing with me. So yeah, we just started 3, and I'm excited to be having fun again in Borderlands instead of feeling like after 20 minutes I'm extremely frustrated.
Well, if you're doing it like together and you're not like going, are you like going for like multiple playthroughs and things? Because I don't know.
We're not that level of grindy. We're like, see all the content once, but we're not like grind the final, what's his name? Kromarax or something like that. So bad that I don't remember. It's a giant crab thing in Borderlands 2 that has excellent loot. We're not like grind that guy over and over again to get the best guns in the game.
I was never like that good either. I like to play primarily by myself, and I would just like I loved handing down cool loot from character to character, and I'd have like 3 of each character class, and I'd prioritize the different skill tree of like I had so many different characters that were passing items around. I just like a ridiculous little art project for myself that no one would ever see or care about. Just a whole little thing.
Video game projects.
The other thing I love,
I've got tons.
I just love being off meta and weird, right? Like you can look at the kind of cards I like in Marvel Snap. I like Cersei and Valkyrie and Supergiant and the Hood and Mysterio. But I've always been that way. Competitive Pokemon, the video game, always liked playing off meta stuff and winning by surprise. Fighting games, I've played tons of fighting games, but Super Smash Brothers especially, I always want to play the weirdo. I want to play not just Bowser Jr., but Wendy, the Koopaling. I want to play Wii Fit Trainer, right? Like Mr. Game & Watch. Like I love playing the weirdo or the character who's got an unusual mechanic. Like I think I crave novelty, and if I'm honest with myself, I'm a little bit of a hipster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're such hipsters, to be honest.
Also, this question about classes and characters and things, I was gonna probably mention the Bazaar anyway, but in that game, the character that I've had the most success with, I've unlocked all of them now. The character I'm playing a lot is one of these tricky magic types, the Alchemist, Mac. I don't know. He's got some sort of immortal as Dorian Gray type situation going on. He's got potions. He doesn't do armor, but he does heavy regeneration. So like you just like get so much regeneration per second going that like you're undoing the damage done to you. And I don't know. Big fan of Staff of the Moose. That's my insider tip to you. Also, knee brace. Get that knee brace early, upgrade it to silver, then you're gaining 200 every day, 200 HP. You really want to get that max HP up because, like, really, it'll all come down to, like, one giant blow at the end of the fight that'll take you down. That's how they overcome your incredible regeneration. They get some sort of scaling weapon up to a, very high 4-digit number, and then they bonk you real hard. And that's how they take you out. Anyway, point is, so yeah, I guess in that game, I went for a magical one, not a high health one. He's kind of squishy, in fact. But wow, I'm getting a lot of 10-win runs there. I'm starting to suspect that I might be an above average player of the Bazaar.
I'm shocked to hear that.
There's like just the statistical indication. You can check your profile and see how many runs have been ended by your ghost and how many runs you've done. And at first I was, I had not learned the things, and I was playing against people who had, they understood the systems and stuff. And so like my run count, when I had like 50 runs, I had not ended 50 runs with my ghost. But now that I am at 100 runs, I have ended more than 100 runs with my ghost. So like I'm catching back up.
Good ratio, yeah.
Yeah, when I think of like how far behind, how much of a deficit I was running in the early ones, like I was never. I mean, I got like 1 10-win run on like my second day playing, but then like I had a week without a 10-win run, and like now I'm getting them like every day, like back to backs. I had back to backs with my boy Mac the Alchemist. Dang, these potions, this moose staff. I'm telling you, he's got a couple cool daggers. There's one of them very, very strong. Anyway, if you ever want some Bazaar tips, folks, find me in the speakeasy, and I will. I'll tell you about my favorite cards and items and things. And
I looked it up. It's like PC only.
It's on the Mac. It's on the Macintosh, and it will be coming to mobile eventually. I don't know. I'm having a blast with it. I'm still not sure I heartily recommend it for everyone ever, but like if it sounds like your cup of tea, I don't know. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Fun is still fun.
It's going well. But I still love Snap. I still love building decks. That's the thing. You gotta, every run of the bazaar is different. You gotta like be adaptive and just like identify the currents of plausibility and snatch a thing out of thin air and figure it out. But yeah, Snap. I still love building my own deck and having a project and all that stuff. And I still have inquisitive threads to pull over here. I'm not like uprooting my Snap existence or anything. I'm not replacing Snap with the bazaar. I'm just also very interested in the bazaar right now, and frankly having a bit more fun.
You're capable of multitudes, Ben.
But yes, that's exactly it. I do contain multitudes.
We covered the OTA last week, and I don't know how much we criticize the OTA as a whole, where it's like, it wasn't a very exciting one. Every change was 1 point. And I'm like, well, when you're having more fun in the bazaar, first of all, it's fine, right? Like, games come and go.
Also, specifically with changes, oh my gosh, they do an update every week, and it's always like big and significant. And like there was one like yesterday, and they reworked some things and like some cards that were just bad, and that I was like frustrated about. The little robot guy, he had some bad cards and some way too good cards, and they brought down the way too good cards, and they brought up the two bad cards. There were like 45% of his cards that were like unplayably bad, and 45% of his cards that were must pick every time, and then 10% of the cards that were interesting and like in between. But like, oh my gosh, yeah, they're doing balance updates every week, and it's very interesting. Okay, sorry.
You're
to
fine.
contrast,
saying, like, I think we want Snap historically. The OTAs and the patches often came with balances. Also, that's kind of changed as their OTA technology has improved. But like, OTAs are content, and lately they haven't been. Like, it isn't changing the meta. Yeah. It isn't driving new deck building or like exploring old cards or something like that. And that was something that Snap was so excellent for, was the frequent, the high pace of change. That's something I love. I know not every player does. I'm sure it's difficult for casual players to keep
ambivalent
up.
About it. But I think that if you're going to do these frequent changes, they should at least be good and like interesting and impactful. I think that maybe like changing things every week or two is perhaps not always for every game like the right thing. But like, if you're going to change it with this frequency, at least like make them feel like something happened or some problem was addressed or fixed, or like just, yeah. I want a little more weight to it.
Cards. They're still changing cards mostly by little like dinky one-ups or one-downs. I feel like how they do, obviously they've changed in a big way where they can make more changes in the OTAs, but overall the style of which they do OTAs, I feel like hasn't changed. The effect of those changes is much less, right? Like, it's just like so many cards, it feels like anymore pinging them up by one or down doesn't like change their viability as much as it used to. You know, like, it's like, unless it's making it a Ravona card now or something, we just look at it and it's like, and then we play it and it's like, it doesn't feel that much different either. I don't know.
Yeah, the small changes can be really impactful, but it's more fun when there's one or two big changes in the OTA, like something new to play with, something to shake up the meta. I would also like to see them be a little bit more aggressive with trying to balance the top end of the meta. Not that, I'm not like in high infinite. I don't see a lot of like, well, I was going to say I don't see a lot of Scream and Bullseye, but I do see a lot of Scream and Bullseye. They're especially Bullseye. Is all over the place.
Yes! Bullseye's everywhere. He's so annoying.
Yeah. I have to say, it's not the most interesting deck to play against.
He probably is too good, but even if he's not too good, like, let's change him just because it is such a high play rate, or at least that's what it feels like. I don't know if they need a way to measure the feel on top of play
it's
rate.
A bad feeling deck to match against. It's not fun. Like,
right.
Yeah. for
Yeah,
reasons that
something
I think are
like it.
obvious to anyone who's played against it.
And I like some unfun decks. We've talked about this before. There are some types of sandcastle kicking that I think are fun, but there's a really big difference when it's the same type of castle kicking happening over and over again versus like a diversity, and not every deck is doing that. And I don't know. I think play rate is something they need to be very vigilant of. Speaking of decks that may not be the most fun, I've had a ton of success with Clog this week. That was my answer to Infinity Ultron, but also it turns out it's very good against Bullseye and some other stuff. So I've been running a classic. I've featured it here before. Frank Puddle's Clog deck. It'll be in the show notes. It's very fun. The main plan is Clog one lane, and then the other lane you win with Cannonball. And, you know, that's the Clog thing to do.
Yeah.
But this one uses Titania heavily, which I don't know that every Clog deck does that, but this one does it very effectively, and it's super fun. Wait, were you done with your week in Snap?
Yeah, sure, pretty much. You know, I'm in Infinite now. I did the thing. I changed one card in my Scream deck. It's a whole new beast. Feels pretty strong when I was playing it on Hot Location Day in Conquest. You know.
Okay. I
Snap.
Ree mentioned her late night feverish Snap gaming, and I had some late night fevered Snap experience last night where I've been working for months on getting my entire collection to either Uncommon, the green border, or Infinity. I just have tons of cards that are stuck. I have tons of cards stuck in between because before we could customize borders, I would stop cards at borders that looked good with them. Mm-hmm. So I have tons of stuff in between. And I don't know, I must have gotten frustrated with it last night because I bought, I think 3, it was either 2 or 3 of the Pro bundles and finished that off. Well, I shouldn't say I didn't finish it off yet. I didn't have enough boosters to get my last Hercules to green. So I have one Hercules sitting at gray right now. And then the bonus booster section of the shop rotated to the
one Hercules?
variant.
So you don't mean just your base cards, you just mean all your cards?
Every card I want either green or Infinity. That's like optimized credits, right? I was down to like, I don't know, 35 or 36, and I just went a little wacky last night. Now, to late night fevered Lauren's, to late night Lauren's credit, I mean, first of all, I should not have stayed up as late as I did. It was a work night. Like, I work early in the morning. It was a bad choice. It really was. But to her credit, she used credit card rewards to convert those to Apple gift card points. So that's something. At least, you know, I have a wedding to pay for. Like, I'm glad I'm not just, you know, burning cash. But I mean, kind of, because I could use the credit card points for better things. But I don't know. Somehow that makes it feel more.
Most money spent could be used for better things. So
something.
So this is me confessing, reporting my shame.
Oh, don't look at it like that. I try to at least frame it for you. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Currently, I am excited. I'm excited that I'm done with that project.
Good. I don't want you to
what my next project is
about it.
I don't know. I'm excited. I had like just a few splits of credits left over when I was done, and I was like, I'm gonna start chasing Crackle on cards that I play a lot, but I haven't split very much. I did 2 splits on Magic, and my 4th split of all time with Magic was gold foil with blue Crackle, and it's just beautiful. And to get that in 4 splits total, awesome. You couldn't even do that before Mastery. But I expect that going back to like chasing splits with the new Mastery system, I expect that will wear out my excitement pretty quickly because I don't know, people don't seem super thrilled with the Mastery system.
Yeah,
the bananaing, if you will.
That was
banana.
I think that's like a whole Benjamin Roller Snap career that you just purchased there.
Yeah,
that's like the whole thing. You bought a whole Ben Roller, like that's a whole complete collection. That's what you paid for.
I know. I had that thought. I was like 3 pro bundles, or even if it was 2, it was like It's a fraction of what I spent when I started the game in 2022, and I was wailing, and then I curbed that. I really did. But then I was like, oh, but if that was season passes only, that's like 2 or 3 years of season passes. Like, it feels really different when you think about it that way.
Yeah.
The Pro Bundle's not even the most efficient bundle. It was just the only thing that had credits in the shop at the time.
I know that like my claims that like cosmetics could like pay for, or like basically is paying for, like if you're spending more than $10 a month on like the game and you're not like, if you have the same collection level I have, or if you have the same, like if you're missing the same number of cards I am, paying $10 a month, and you're paying more than $10 a month, the difference that you're spending was spent on cosmetics, whether like you like see it that way or not. Like, it's because you like stop to smell the roses progression wise, and like you're spilling. You like
I was 100% thinking of you last night. I was like, I don't know how far off our CL is, but Ben's ability to even moderately keep up with my CL is strictly because all of the gold that I have spent on cosmetics, he has spent on actual progress.
And it's not like I don't have fun cosmetics to like, I've got like variants on variants on variants. Like occasionally like 3 or 4 times I've spent 700 gold on a variant. Like on at least one occasion, I've thrown extra spotlight keys because I liked a pretty picture. Like, I haven't even been perfect. And I'm saying like, if you're not more collection complete than I am, and you're spending more than $10, like the difference is money you spent on cosmetics.
Which is fine, right? But
it is fine. I'm just saying, like,
to know.
Like, they're making so much money on the cosmetics is all I'm saying. Like, I'm not like trying to shame anybody for giving them money for cosmetics. I'm just saying, like, that's where they are extracting that's where they're getting the money. It's just that simple.
I love that I have your example, because I will argue with people online about how close to collection complete you can be on a budget. And people say, no, that's not possible. And I'm like, I'm missing 4 cards evidence. And I have not been flawless in my execution. Like, I've stumbled. Yeah. And not only have you gotten cosmetics a few times, but I'm sure you haven't gotten, say, every single Twitch drop, right? Or like,
no,
are you spinning the Galactus spin every single day? I mean, maybe you are. I'm pretty good about that.
I mean, like, more than once a week, but not every day. That's for sure.
So it's just like, there's some credits and stuff that you're just leaving on the table. And it's like, if someone was really super diligent, I think you could either be at 100% or dang near it the season pass.
If I'd made better choices, I do believe I could at this point, especially after that Sanctum Showdown business. I could be at 100 right now if I'd made better choices.
I'm very interested in seeing if those Series 4 or 5 cards come back to the next Sanctum Showdown. Like, was that a one-time thing to make Showdown exciting, or is that going to be like every quarter or so? There's the big event that has big prizes. I don't know. Anyway, should we talk about Infinity Ultron?
Absolutely.
For the record, I love my cosmetics, and I have few regrets. So,
Yeah, no, I don't think you should. It bothered me that you seem to be grappling with it. I was like, no, you can't allow yourself to think this was a mistake, or that would drive me like, oh my gosh, you got to make this necessary in your mind.
I've learned to not, like, it's gone. Like, I need to, embrace it and probably just not stay up so late at night. Late night Lauren it's not usually a spending problem. That's a pretty unusual situation. Not that I stay up too late, but it's unusual that translates to spending money. Anyway. Infinity
Ultron.
5-6. 30 something minutes later. On reveal, add 2 of Ultron stones to your hand. And there's a bunch of stones. We've talked about them several times. I'm not going to talk about them again in specific. Anyway. Did you get him? What do you think?
No, I did not get him. Oh, did you get him? Infinity Ultron?
I will, but I haven't yet, as I said. I haven't gotten to
encountered Infinity Ultron?
No, I haven't played today.
I encountered one. I played against one Infinity Ultron on my climb to Infinite at the very end in the 90s.
And he definitely kicked your ass.
this card has a 100% win rate. Oh my gosh. Infinity Ultron cracked? Best card ever? I don't know. It beat me the one game that I played against it. They didn't play any of the stones. But they did play Infinity Ultron. And then they did normal surfer shit at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's undefeated against me, so I've got no room to criticize it. It is probably the best card they've ever printed, statistically.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I did not get him. I have been tempted because I'm like, there's some fun clips I could do with this card, maybe. But I think I'm gonna save one or two Series 5 cards for the Snap Packs experience, so I can talk about that when that comes out. That's my justification for skipping this card. He seems bad. I thought he was going to be the worst card this season, and mostly stats and people seem to agree with me.
I think we all thought, yep. I think everyone called a stinker, and a stinker has come. I don't know.
I've seen people who've had like decent stats with him, but it's still like he's just making the deck. He's making an already good deck slightly worse. Like he's not. I don't know. His highs are definitely high. He's a high variance card, right? Like if you get the purple stone and the red stone, I believe he doubles his power, and then you get a 12 power drone. Like that's cool, but that's so rare.
But also, like if this were a good card, would we even know? I just don't think there are a million people trying a million ideas with Infinity Ultron. I don't think there are enough cooks in the kitchen. You know, sometimes there are too many cooks in the kitchen. I think there are insufficient cooks in Marvel Snap's kitchen lately. That's what I think.
I also think, I mean, the easiest way to cook is throw new card into old deck, right? And I think
that's certainly the lowest hanging version of it, but you know.
And I think that's probably the right thing for most cards. And that's ideally most cards are support cards, not build arounds. Like if every single card's a build around, that's weird. But yeah, Infinity Ultron to me feels like a card that probably at his best should be a build around card. I don't know if he is, but I don't know. He's just goofy.
I mean, one thing that I've heard from the people enthusiastic about the card is that like it's a ramp card, right? You want to play Infinity Ultron on like 4, don't you? Is that like the dream? I guess. I struggle to put myself in the shoes of the person excited about Infinity Ultron, but that's the job. That's we're podcasting about Marvel Snap.
It gives you more time to do stuff with him. I think that's definitely what you want to do is Luna or Wave or Arishem.
Yeah. Maybe. I feel like Arishem sounds the most like the best fit of those that you mentioned to me anyway, because like it, you know, has the most nebulous game plan, and Infinity Ultron is, you know, intrinsically like an unpredictable card that's just going to give you some value in some form, but like you don't know what. So like what's the point of building around the stones in particular? Like you just have to hope they give you some of the good ones, and yeah, it feels like Arishem has to be like the most practical home.
It gives you more chances, right? Like if you have a bad Arishem draw, maybe the Ultron stones will synergize with him well, and if you got good Arishem cards, then who cares? Just don't play Ultron or don't play the stones. Plus Arishem's like running Quinjet and stuff anyway, Eson. So like there's some free synergy there.
Well, do we have any other interesting Infinity Ultron thoughts, or can I say one brief thought about next week's card, even though we don't do that anymore?
Well, let's talk about the Spotlight Friends briefly. Cannonball and Pixie. Cannonball's a 5/8 that moves the highest power enemy card off the location on reveal, and if it's full, turns it into a rock. Pixie's a 2/2 that shuffles the costs of the cards in your deck that started there.
Cannonball's still great, and not just in like screen remove decks. I mean, Ducks where
Yep,
he can be
Cannonball.
utilized, but it's just a way to get rid of like a high power card at a location.
Oh, he's a single
He's a
card lane winner.
Lane winner
Has a very desirable effect. Like, yeah, in all sorts of, yeah. That's a good thing within the rules of Marvel Snap to do. Move away the highest power card from a location. That's cool.
Yep. Highly recommend Cannonball, except to note that both of these cards are Series 4, and so it's kind of a weird proposition because if they only cost you 1 key, that's 3,000 tokens. Like,
yeah, you are not getting your tokens worth if you
that's
are.
the price
throwing
that you're
keys at
getting
this
if
week.
you just wait until your keys turn into tokens and you wait for them to rotate into your token shop. Like, it's a weird proposition. But like, if you're getting Infinity Ultron anyway and you get them along the way, that's all right. Pixie is really fun. I don't know if she's good. I don't think that the buff from 2-1 to 2-2 made the difference. I doubt it.
He's a tough card.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She's hard to deck build with. She really, like, when she was coming out, I thought she was going to be much better because it's a lot of energy cheat if it works out. But it's weird building a deck that has like a lot of low cards and a lot of high cards. And what do you do if you don't hit Pixie? Like,
You know what? I think they should make her 2-3. Do it. Do
make
it.
her 1-1. Yeah, 2-3.
I don't know about that. Do you think it would be safe? Like, would
think she'd be a
1-1 Pixie be
problem?
too good? I kind of feel like she
No.
might be too good. Well, you think so? Okay.
I mean, I imagine that's why she's a 2 is because they thought she'd be too good at 1. But if Loki can be 1, Pixie can be 1.
Well, I feel like Pixie can be like 2-3 or something, just like to be like more substantial. And also, like, it's the Magneto rule. You did a thing that's like, I mean, sure, it's like there's no way it's actually a drawback because you did it on purpose yourself and it's like a
Right.
powerful effect. But like, if you squint, it's a double-edged sword or whatever. So like, you can give her good stats because of the Magneto rule.
What I would like to see them do with Pixie, and I don't think they will, but this is what I would do. I would change it so that instead of being shuffle the costs, it rotates the costs. Currently, the shuffle can give, if you only have one 6 cost card in your deck, it can get the 6 back. And I think that's weird. If you have 2 6s, I'm fine if they swap the 6s, that's fine. But I think that it would be a better card if every card definitely got the cost of a different card.
But when you say rotated, do you mean like every 5 becomes the 6 if there's a 6, and if you have
No.
like a 6, it becomes the 1, like a conveyor belt situation, or like
Okay, so it's going to get more technical than I meant, but I would probably even keep the word as shuffle. Unless somebody wanted to be technical about that and be like, well, it's not a true shuffle if a card can't land up back in the exact same position. But I would
but you're saying like assign each one of them like a random number and then like have them each scoot over one position or something?
Yes,
Okay.
rotate like a musical chair or whatever. So basically you save the order of the deck, you shuffle it, then you move them all up one card, and then you restore the order of the deck. I would make her more interesting if every card definitely picked up the cost from a different card instead of having a chance. Like, I mean, it's a very low chance, but there's technically a chance that she shuffles the cost and nothing changes. And that's just, I don't know. It's dumb.
I agree.
Okay.
I
You
see
want to
your
tell
point,
us
and
about
it's good.
next week's card, Strange Supreme?
Oh, not next week's card. Week after next week's card.
Okay, let's hear
Hydra
it.
Stomper. Why are we getting
the
Hydra
move
Stomper
card.
before Topaz? Can't we get Topaz first? That's my big thought. Sorry, it's not even next week's card. I'm just like, what? I'm trying to get excited about Hydra Stomper, but the more I think about Hydra Stomper, the more I'm just like, but like the mouse has been given a cookie, but I like.
What are you
I
going
do
to
Tell
do?
me
it.
what
Yes.
Topaz does. I forget.
Topaz.
Topaz bounces cards to the center.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be
Your
fun.
cards.
You play cards on Topaz, and she moves them to the center.
She's
it's
like
2 Grandmasters.
who Hercules wishes Hercules was. Is my feeling.
Yeah.
Have you
She does
noticed
seem like a
this
more
trend
fun
where
card.
they always make the female characters more reliable? I just don't like this as something we have to live up to. You know what I mean? Like as women,
I completely do,
like
yes.
for real. Okay, look, Lady Sif, right? Regular, like 3 cost, always discards your top card.
Just the
Super
picture of
reliable,
quiet
Sword
competence.
master.
always does the
Yep.
job. her counterparts, her coworkers, Moon Knight, Corvus Glaive, not reliable,
These boys are messy.
not always discarding what you want. Right? And it's just like the same. It's like in the What If series. And they're like, hey, what if we have a fun party episode where Thor just wants to have fun and all the women just are like all responsible about it and shit. And it's just like, oh, don't. Why? Like, I don't. It's hard. It's a hard reputation to live up to. It's a tough responsibility. Sometimes girls just want to have fun. Stop making us always be the reliable ones. Okay, I'm just saying, why does Hercules get to have fun while Topaz has to always just do the thing reliable? Okay.
Yeah, but she's going to be so good at that job, and I am going to be singing her praises from the rooftops.
I know,
trumpeting her valor and like,
she's
but
great.
Spectacular.
Honestly,
she's spectacular. Yeah. She's going to be so good.
In a lot of ways, better than Madam Web. Like, you just get the move for free. Yeah.
Like, Madam Web is like the activate to Topaz's on reveal, you know?
Oh, you can do some, like, Red Wing shenanigans. Okay.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Okay, you made me more excited for Topaz.
She's so predictable and manageable, like, always to the middle. No room for RNG. Just, I love a card that's good at its job.
But you want to let a card have a little serendipity, you know, like a little spontaneity. So,
sure.
We're going to be doing some spontaneous things with Topaz. It's such an exciting card. So much more exciting than Hydra Stomper. Why do we get Hydra Stomper first? Hydra Stomper is going to become so much more exciting once we've got Topaz. All right. So temper your expectations about Hydra Stomper. It's not going to pop off at its full potential.
Honest, stomping on Hydra.
No, they need it.
Okay.
They're up to no good, I'm telling you.
It ain't much, but it's honest.
High Voltage is back. I knew it was coming. I didn't know when. I opened my game today and it was there. Even more interestingly, the prize wasn't Dum Dum Dugan as said in the blog, but Toxie Doxie.
I really love the stink you put on Dum Dum Dugan's name. It's like
Dugan. I don't know how to say it.
No, that's the thing. I don't know. I sort of assume it's Dugan. I feel like that's how I've heard it. That's how I've heard it in Marvel Ultimate Alliance on the PlayStation 2. There's an escort mission with him. He really wants to die. You really got to protect him. Oh man, that's one of my all-time least favorite escort missions, up there with the one in Jack 2 where you're escorting your younger self. Spoilers for Jack 2. It came out in like 2003, so maybe play it. I don't know.
Ringing endorsement. Are you ready for High Voltage again right now?
No.
No. Thanks for asking. I haven't opened the client today. I will need to at some point do some dailies, but like, ooh, did it have to be already High Voltage now again?
Second Dinner just isn't matching us in like this relationship. Like there's a point where I'm like, need more stuff, not enough stuff. You know, like playing this game too much, and now we're like, "Hey, Second Dinner, chill out." We just had, a little special mode last Saturday. Sorry, what were you saying, Lauren?
I will say one nice thing. I think this is the second event like this. I like the event starting not on Tuesday. I like it being offbeat from the like reset cycle, the season cycle, all that. Like it's starting on a Thursday.
But how do we feel about the same one twice in a row and like so close together? Just like I didn't think we were due for another one so soon. It's just and they are an imposition, like these limited time modes. Like, you know, like I do like now have to make time for it. Like I'm gonna be traveling. There's a like a family, like, you know, I got like stuff to do. There are other things in life besides Marvel Snap. And when they tell me that they need so much of my time in this 1 week window with like no notice, it's not very courteous. That's what I'll say.
And I'll add, I'm on the record. I don't like High Voltage. It's my least favorite game mode. I think it really suffers from the fact that optimizing it makes it extremely unfun because the missions matter so much more than winning. It's like, I don't know, like 40 times more or something like that. So on that note, I will have in the show notes, I have 2 decks that I used in high voltage last time. One of them is a negative deck, and the whole point is playing as many 5s and 6s as you can. The other one is a tribunal deck.
Sorry, but that's like the meme, Lauren. It's like, hey, it's time to play. It's time to lose like 6 games while you get all the like play 5 cards missions done.
Yeah,
and you're just like, yes,
like,
mommy.
it's a negative deck. It's a negative deck that runs Hobgoblin. And somebody was like, why are you doing that? Do you just not use it? And I'm like, I don't care. I will send you my 0-5 Hobgoblin. I'm just trying to play as many 5s and 6s as possible so I can knock out the missions as quickly as possible. If you like high voltage, great. I know that there are people who love it. I know people, it's their favorite game mode, and I love that for you. I think there should be an unranked mode in the game, but I think that the like incentives for high voltage are all out of whack, and it is just I can't convince myself to play to win because it's so dramatically inferior to just focusing on the missions. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the other deck is a living tribunal deck because there's a mission that asks you to win all 3 locations, which is probably the biggest pain in the ass out of all the high
that's smart.
voltage.
I should remember that.
Yeah. So, like, as long as you draw right, you make a huge stack with Iron Man and Onslaught and Mystique, whatever. Like, it's great. Both of these decks can win, but the point is to knock out missions as fast as possible. They will be in the show notes if you are like me and would like to optimize high voltage or minimize how long you have to play it in order to get Toxie Doxie.
It's just such a chore. Because
Toxie Doxie is once again like with First Rider, she's at the 12,000, like the top prize, and I really wish that they would make the card the second prize so that I can stop playing if I don't care about the variant.
Why are they doing this to us?
Anyway, let's talk about Toxie Doxie. I at least think she's more exciting than Dugon. A 2/1 Toxie Doxie has on reveal give 2 cards in your hand plus 2 power. You can't play them next turn.
Wow, I love this card.
It's really fun.
I haven't read this version of Toxie Doxie. That's not what she did last time I read her.
She changed since we talked about her last.
So yeah, that's my honest reaction. First time reading the card. I love it. Very good. Cool card. Great card. Want it very much. It's very good. This is a very strong card.
Kind of a Gwenpool. I'm not surprised Ben likes it because I think it does fit into a a small card stack where you can be more flexible.
Surfer, also friends with Scarlet Spider. You weren't going to play Scarlet Spider next turn. You're going to play Scarlet Spider on turn 4. So yum.
Yep.
Ooh.
But see, a deck that has like a more careful curve, not being able to play them next turn might be too costly. But I do think there are decks that are really going to like this card.
But this is very much for my playstyle. I'm not about that strict curve. I like to keep it modular, non-linear, just like assembling my play lines a la carte. Yum. Sorry, that's my catchphrase this week. I'm leaning heavy on the yums. They're always sort of like they're always present, but this week I'm just voracious. I don't know what to tell you.
Do you listen to Hello from the Magic Tavern?
Yeah, it's a chunt yum. Okay. That's exactly what it is. Yep.
That's the one that's always in my head. I love that one.
Yep.
Yum.
I heard you do it last week, and I wondered, does Lauren think she's doing a me yum, or was that a chunt yum? But the answer is like it's certainly a chunt yum. Anyway, so that's our other podcasts talk for this week. We must quickly move on lest we linger too long.
Can I talk? Can I give my thoughts?
Yeah, I want to hear you talk about Toxie Doxie. Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. So I think what I want to do with her is see if we can finally break Ravonna free of negative, because something like an Iron Man 2 is something you want to give plus 2 power to as well. But I can't argue against the whole just going in on the buff thing with Scarlet. I've played a lot of buff Scarlet Spider decks, so it's also very enticing.
That's why you're the best, Ree. There are many reasons, but that's one of them.
The Scarlet Spider.
Yep.
I'm going to play this card with Mysterio.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Yep. Oh, wow. That's Ooh. I mean, like these are the hand buff cards. These are the usual suspects. I
forget about Mysterio every single time. Like you say it, like,
exactly.
oh man,
That's
I
the
must.
thing.
There's
Every
so
time
much
Lauren says
potential.
it, I'm like,
I love buffing, and then I forget about him until next Lord.
Every time I mention Mysterio, you're like, I gotta play more.
My boy Clinton.
Mysterio's just like in a corner in a party, like they don't know. They don't know I put out 2 other cards with buffed power. Sorry, my head is just full of memes at all times.
On to our side quests. First up, and only this week, or as far as I know anyway, maybe somebody will surprise me, our weekly secret homework. This one was a continuation from last week's, which was Ben's. Do you want to take it?
It was what's a movie you wish I'd seen? I think that's how I phrased it.
Yep.
Yeah, what's a movie you wish I'd seen? And I wasn't sure how to participate in that secret homework myself, so I recommended the first 2 movies that came to mind. I do recommend both of those movies. I stand by those recommendations. I'm not trying to distance myself. I'm just saying, like, I really did not like. These are not like my 2 like number 1 dearest. Like these are both recent films. These were not like formative to my personhood or anything. But anywho, yeah. So I brought a couple of recommendations. My co-hosts brought a couple of recommendations. We tried to watch some movies, and I think we mostly did. Some of us second screened it, as I learned.
Can't believe you'd throw somebody under the bus like that.
Well, second screening all those movies is better than watching one of them twice and then watching part of another one.
I watched exactly 2, one from each of you. Okay.
That was what I wanted to do. I failed. I didn't stick the landing. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Should we go by movie or by people?
Yeah.
We do
this. In recommendation order. Tell us about your picks, Ben.
Oh, me? I recommended Bottoms and Dix the Musical. Bottoms is a comedy about a couple of high school gals. It's kind of an important plot point that they are horny lesbians. They live in sort of a heightened reality. Things are it's like the real world, but not things get a little extreme. It's got the funny football man, and I found it to be very very entertaining. It's got is it Io Adebari from The Bear?
Okay.
That's a cool film. The other one I recommended was Dix the Musical, adapted from an off-Broadway musical called Fucking Identical Twins, I believe.
That tracks.
And the Marvel connection is that, like She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, there's a small but significant role for Megan Thee Stallion in that movie. And also a lot of Bowen Yang's there, Megan Mullally.
I mean, we're supposed to talk about them like we've already seen them, right? You're not like,
did you watch either of these?
I watched both of them. Bottoms was super charming. It's like super bad for queer, lesbians. And I very much enjoyed it. And then Dix the Musical was insane. It was also a time. I never ever in my life thought I would see a flying snail pussy, and now I have. Now that is check that off the old bucket list. That was a surprise. But yeah, Megan Mullally was she's hilarious. Okay.
Oh, she's great. She's crushing it on Righteous Gemstones right now. She's got a very large role this season. She's doing fantastic.
That the mom?
No, she plays
Not
the
in Righteous
deceased mom's
Gemstones,
best
in
friend.
Dixie.
Oh, yes, in
Yeah.
Dixie Musical,
Okay.
yes.
I didn't watch Bottoms because I'd seen it before and I loved it, and is very charming was the word I was going to use for it. So yes, Dixie Musical is the Ben pick that I watched. I'm so glad to get my fiance involved in it too, because I like weird movies. Like this was my shit, but for her it was just like, what are we watching?
I was afraid of that.
I was eating
like,
it up. There are sewer
I
boys.
could have picked something a little more down the middle. I'm sorry.
No.
I ruined our 4-quadrant appeal.
Not at all. This was a delight. It's definitely raunchy. If you're sensitive to that sort of thing, just heads up. But I loved it, and the sewer boys just killed me. I was laughing. I was laughing hysterically. And I'm not often a laugh out loud movie goer, especially in my own home. So yeah, it was a great experience.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Bree?
Okay.
You want to briefly introduce your movies?
Okay. So I guess first we had a pre-podcast discussion about enjoying Chinese fantasy. I was really into Chinese fantasy in a younger phase of my life, and Lauren hadn't seen House of Flying Daggers, so I told her to watch that. I don't know if that's the one she picked. And then it's okay. It's hard to find. I actually looked for it to find it again. And it's not. It made me really sad. I used to have a giant ass DVD collection. Huh?
I think I could rent it for like $4, which I would totally do.
Okay, but yeah, it's not like on one of the, if you already have a streaming service, you have to run it separately. But it's a really fun, it's like in the vein of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. But I just mentioned it because I always talk about how I'm not like into romance, generally speaking. But when I was young, I was really into this one. I'm trying to remember if the lovers die at the end. I really cannot, if I can remember. Sorry, spoilers. Maybe they live, maybe
you
they
watch
don't.
It again.
You don't know either now. It's like it's because I love. Thinking about this when I was recommending made me realize I think what I like about romance is sparring, like it's foreplay. You know, like think about the scene from Shang-Chi where like his parents are meeting and it's like they're not even like talking, but it's like. You know, chemistry is happening. Yeah, I think it started because I was like with like Pride and Prejudice, you know, so like words, you know, wit as flirting. Then moving into like, you know, when girls have to pretend to be boys in order to be able to be knights. A lot of
oh yeah, Pierce shit. Absolutely, yep, classic.
Yeah. Generally, when I was little, there was most of what you had as a girl genre was girls needing to prove themselves by ditching the rest of their gender and being one among the boys. To be honest with you, that was most of the literature I it's sad but true. So anyway, moving on from the one that Lauren didn't watch that I've now talked too long about. The two I recommended were Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Robert Downey Jr., Val Kilmer. I think Shane Black directed it. And it's just one of those that I always have in my back pocket when back in the days when we used to be able to recommend things because there were fewer good things people hadn't seen. And I always be like, this is one most people haven't seen, and it's one I really enjoy. It's a lot of little witty dialogue. So like shows with little funny witty dialogues like Arrested Development stuff. When I rewatched this week, because I hadn't seen it in a while, I'm like, oh, I can quote this whole thing. And I did. Fortunately, I was by myself. No one had to, be like, no one had to have the movie ruined for them. Okay. And then the other one I'll introduce, because I don't know who watched what, was The 10, which is just a collection of comedy skits, loosely connected. This is like early 2000s, so, I think, so like that kind of era comedy, but it's like David Wayne, Michael Short. And what I was surprised when I rewatched it this week, I forgot how many like other celebrities are in it, like Winona Ryder, Jean Grey. I know that's not who she is. She's an actress. But the first Jean Grey. Okay. and a lot of other celebrities kind of played minor roles in that. Also surprising, it has extremely bad reviews, which, I guess it's not a type of humor. When I saw it,
do you mean Famke Janssen? That Jean Grey? Or the Jean Grey who's friends with John Hodgman?
The one...
Who's the second one?
Oh, gosh. Never mind. Too many Jean Greys.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
You meant the X-Men one, right?
Yeah. Bryan Singer's X-Men.
Yeah.
Famke Janssen, yeah.
Yeah, Famke Janssen.
Okay, I don't know your name, but it's her. It's like, Jean Grey!
Yeah.
Okay. Paul Rudd is like your host connecting things. So, okay, wait, which one did you guys watch then?
Speaking of renting movies for $4, that's what I had to do because Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is not on any of those dang streaming services anywhere. And so, because I spent the $4 on it and I am frugally minded, I did watch it twice. Yes, I did. The first time I was paying attention, but like I had it on while I walked to the grocery store, like that sort of thing.
You're trying to like blame me for second screening stuff, and you're watching.
But that's the thing. I watched it twice, though. I watched it twice because I'm thorough. It's a
great movie, and you loved it because it's so clever and hilarious.
That too, I did enjoy it very much. There were some aspects of it that I was not entirely on board with.
That's every movie that exists more than 5 years ago.
That's the thing. That's the thing. For its, I found some of the gender politics to be a little. I'm not sufficiently educated to disassemble what was going on there.
Jr. has an annoying speech about like broken women in it. But
oh my
if
god!
You notice,
I was like, what is even going on here?
Yes, and it's very terrible. But I want to point out that much later in the film, there's a moment right at the end where they're discussing their fathers and how, like, they beat him. And it's like, I feel like that is a nod to be like, he is trying to project this onto these women. When, you know what I mean? So it's that kind of thing, is that just because a narrator or a protagonist says it doesn't mean it's the message, I think, necessarily.
No, I am aware of that.
He's a bad dude.
But he's kind of a turd. But you know who fucking rules? Val Kilmer. Oh my god, very entertaining. Hugely entertaining. So some of those line deliveries were so good. There are some like moments where he like sort of splutters when he's like saying like, oh man, very fun. Just oh wow.
Okay,
just
for example,
the talent and charisma on display there. God damn.
When they say they're like, you're gay, Perry, and he's like, what? Still gay? And Val Kilmer just like rolls it off like, nah, I'm knee deep in pussy. I just like the name so much I can't get rid of it. I didn't even do it. Like he's just got so many. Like, all the little dialogues in that are great.
Yeah. That's the one I watched. I found it delightful. I also...
Yeah, hugely entertaining. I open with like a complaint, but like, wow, on the whole, I found it to be just so enjoyable. Yeah, I saw the appeal. I ran back through my mind and identified the friends I had that were clearly obsessed with this movie at the time. That I just like, I'd never gotten around to watching it. I'm like, yes, this was, so-and-so's favorite movie, like that sort of thing. I was like, I've been like aware, I've been swimming in the cultural ripples of this movie, like for a long time and all that. And, like it is why we have Iron Man 3 in the form that we have Iron Man 3. It's a Shane Black joint. Robert Downey Jr. fought to get him on that project. Also, apparently, according to the Blank Check fellas, I believe I heard them mention that Shane Black did punch up on the script for Iron Man 1, and that's why the dialogue snaps so hard. Anywho, these are things I heard on other podcasts.
Okay, the movie had so much witty banter. When Robert Downey Jr. comes to, I don't know her name, the girl's door.
Harmony?
Yes.
Harmony Faith Lane.
It's not the actress's name, but that's the character's name.
That's
when he comes
all
to
I
her
know.
door and she slams the door and she's like, did I just cut off your finger or whatever she says? Like, I thought it was witty banter. And minor spoilers, I suppose, but like everything that follows from that just tickled me endlessly. Yes, it's a very fun movie. That was also one that Jess liked.
Doesn't it make you every time, sorry, you drop your sunglasses, you want to pick it up? Does that to close up.
I was glad to see the actor who played Harmony Faith Lane. Is that her name? Is that the name of the character?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, that actor was on this real mediocre show, The Path, on Hulu, and her character was never any fun on that show. She never got to do anything fun. It was probably the worst character to play on that show, and if you had to play one, it was probably the least fun. Only bad things seemed to happen to her, and she never got to be
way to put a real downer on the end of this.
It was a real bummer. So I was just pleased that the actor got to do fun. I don't know her. Is it Michelle Monaghan? Is that it? I'm never confident that I have people's names right until I have them really locked in. But I think that's the actor's name. But yeah, this seemed like a more fun role to play. So I'm always rooting for people to get fun work.
It was great, and I think Jess and I both genuinely enjoyed it. There's plenty of space for us to compromise, but it's I don't know. I feel like it's a rare movie that we both really enjoy. So yeah, I fully intend to watch your other two recommendations.
Yeah, I'm going to watch all these gosh dang movies, even if I have to spend $4 to rent them. Well, maybe not if I have to spend $4.
What if you have to pirate it?
This may have been your one, Ree, but if Wolf Children is ever $4 to rent, I'll do that. I
won't lie. The other movie is mostly a trick, so that you'll get my "I did it for a goof" references.
Okay, good.
Moving on.
That's just to help us get your references.
I know, it's my goal always. Okay. Sorry, tell us your...
my movies are both anime. Kiki's Delivery Service is my all-time number one favorite movie. This is a Hayao Miyazaki, Studio Ghibli teen witch who moves from the countryside to the city, and the city has kind of forgotten about witches, and so she's kind of a novelty there, and it's just her dealing with growing up in the city, and it is absolutely lovely. The animation is stunning and the story is beautiful. And then Wolf Children, didn't realize this until after I recommended it. You can't get it anywhere. You can't buy it. You can't rent it. You could probably buy it on physical media, but I saw on their website that they are doing a 4K release in May, and I wonder if that's why you can't get it anywhere right now, because they're about to re-release it. This movie is absolutely beautiful. I'd recommend it to anybody. This is Mamoru Hosoda, who founded his own... he's the director. He founded his own studio to make this movie, but he's done a bunch of great ones before and since, including The Girl Who Leapt Through Time and Mirai. I've seen a bunch of his stuff and I love it all. But Wolf Children in particular is just one of the most touching movies I've ever seen. It is an extremely strong story of the connection between parent and child. And so I think it's especially touching for anybody who's a parent, but everybody has some relationship like that, right? You were raised by somebody, or maybe you have a younger sibling that you were involved in the raising of. But it's just beautiful countryside. Woman has two children with a man who can turn into a wolf, and then it turns out that their children can turn into wolves, and she's raising them as a single mother, and it's not the easiest thing to be a human mother of wolf children. I'm assuming neither of you saw it because
you are correct.
You have to pirate it, basically.
I'm sure there would have been a way if I were willing to,
I'm getting all these ads for the 4K version now, though. since I was searching for it. It keeps recommending that. I was like, oh, in May. To mention on the podcast, but of course you was. I have seen Kiki's Delivery Service, of course. I love the Studio Ghibli. The first thing to mention about it is that all of us would, like, it's like Liz Lemon, I want to go to there. I would live anywhere that they depict in that, like, anime. Any single place, any building, any house. I would like to live there, please. Yes. It's so beautiful. It's so adorable. Usually I hate, sorry, I'm always like, I hate, but like, usually like happy biological family stories bum me out because I don't have one. But this one, it's cool because, you know, she leaves them immediately. Not in a bad way. But instead of going off on her own and finding her own way in her own place. And those are always, but like in the cozy way. It's like Kiki's Delivery Service is like how we all grew up, like, you know, dealing with all of our attention and rage problems by like mass murdering in video games. And then we got to adulthood and COVID and whatever, and we're like, oh, but what if we just imagined we lived on an island where it was possible to pay off all our debts and like, you know, like slowly make a place better. And it's like Kiki's Delivery Service is that cozy feeling of like Animal Crossing New Horizons of like, what if like people were mostly kind and that people were slightly selfish? Okay, also like a distant war that we're like, kind of it's in the background, kind of generally like all Studio like Ghibli
modernization, films. Industrialization, but like
I
think it's such an achievement of this film that there isn't like, I don't know, there's not like clear
it's
antagonists
so
or everything's cozy, but there's still like a story. Yeah.
Yes.
But also don't spoil it for me because I've only seen.
Oh, you haven't watched it.
Far.
Okay,
I haven't finished it yet. Although I have seen. I believe I've seen it on Cartoon Network on television. Well, first I started it playing while I was doing things and getting ready. And then I backed it up.
But you were, at least you were in second screening it then.
Hey, I'm just saying, I'm going back and giving them my full and undivided. I'm like being more thorough than a single first screen watch. I'm giving them more of my ultimate attention. You know, ultimately, I'm giving them more of my attention. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying I'll get there in the end. I don't like leaving things undone, or like I don't enjoy half-assing. I enjoy 1.5-assing. So I'm 1.5. I'm Three-Cheekin these movies.
This is one you want to watch. It's beautiful. The animation is gorgeous.
I just like remembering that people can be kind to each other and to strangers. Because, like, sometimes it's hard to remember that. All right. Yeah.
Okay. We'll go on to the secret homework. Or not, the secret homework's done. Assign the new secret homework. Simple, but we're going to bring it back to Snap. This is one that I've had in my pocket for a while because it's interesting to me. I want you to design a zero-cost card. I think it's very tricky design space.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, especially to make something interesting that's not Wasp or Yellow Jacket. Okay.
We got skills now, though. Remember,
I'm interested to see what y'all do. Oh, I meant to say there were a few movies recommended.
I've already designed it. Oh, it's so good.
Viewers.
Okay.
Ben's like, Jen.
He's been cooking on this. A handful of movies that I saw viewers recommend: Kneecap, Night at the Museum, Kung Fu Hustle, and Kraven. I don't know how serious that recommendation was.
I heard it's like not good, but like maybe not the worst ever. I feel like.
Yeah, Ben said it was more fun than Madam Web.
Now I'm thinking about my zero cost card, and I'm like, oh, the design is good, but what character is it? And I'm like, and I just blurted out that I thought it was good. So like now the expectations are. I really dug myself quite a hole.
It's fine if you want to design bottom up or top down. That's fine. I have done both. Okay. If you liked what you heard, tune in, like, comment, subscribe, leave comments on YouTube or Spotify, leave reviews on, I don't know, Apple or Spotify. I don't know where the reviews go. You can join us on the Discord. Ben briefly mentioned the Speakeasy earlier. It's our little corner of the Snap Judgments League Discord. Say that 10 times fast. There are instructions to get there in the show notes or video description, just like, where all the decks will be and movies and stuff like that. It's always a good place to check. Anyway, if you want to find out what Ben's incredibly well-designed zero-cost card is...
Honestly, I'm pretty enthusiastic about it. It's a cool design. I'm quite proud of it.
Tune in next week. Same Snap time, same Snap channel.
Oh, we did it.
I think it might be 0-1. I think that might be the stat line I have to go with.
That's wacky. I'm sorry if I was insensitive about families. I did not mean to be. I know not everybody has happy family relationships.
I didn't mean in like a super triggering way. I just mean that like
but somebody out there has an even worse familial relationships than you, right? And so it's like, maybe it's you and your pet or something, like, but somewhere you can relate to, like, or chosen family, but you can relate to familial love that is not, separate from romantic love or friend love.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just saying I always go for, like, the found family things. But, no, I was thinking that when I rewatched the 10, I was like, oh, man, like, there's some dark humor here, but it's so over the top that for me, it takes it out of the context where it would be upsetting, as humor. But I did think, I'm like, I should have plastered some warnings on some of the topics. Although some of those jokes in that territory were made in some of the films that I watched in Bottoms and Dicks, but they're more modern. So it's, slightly more tasteful. But like, but I think if you are avoiding, if you need, it's like, this is your entertainment. And this was the original point of like trigger warnings, is like, which really annoys me how that got co-opted for mockery, was that like, it's like, if you need to avoid a topic in your entertainment temporarily or forever, because this is a thing for fun, not a thing where you get surprised by like something that was, traumatic for you, then it's like, that's totally fine. Like, it's totally fine.
Yeah, totally different emotional response
in
than what the artist intended.
That bothers you.
Yeah.
Okay, also, side note, I had this thought earlier on Snap related, and I want to make a game where you play as a NPC, or not as an NPC, but like, you're the main character, and you know how you always find NPC skeletons? What if you, instead of just looting them, to get your starting equipment and then later to get like random, usually not rare, good stuff, because that's usually in chests, but instead, what if you were a detective that investigated who they were to go like, bring, closure to their loved ones or like unfinished missions?
You need to make a detective
game I want to make. Yeah, I'm putting it in my list of future things. Yeah. Anyway, I was just like, that's what I want to do. These poor NPC skeletons. Who were they? What were their lives? How did they end here? Why did they end here?
Very fun.
Okay.
Is this like a fantasy environment? I mean, it doesn't have to be.
Yes. Well, because it's like where you want to take the cliche stereotype. It's like where, it's like, well, what if I was just running a shop, in a fantasy world? Or what if I was like a ground level detective in a fantasy city? And this is like, what if I was an empathetic adventurer instead of one that just wanted to collect all the
murder hobo?
Yeah, murder hobo.